Welcome back. In this video, we're talking about minimalism and how it can help you actually stop compulsive eating. It alone cannot help you stop compulsive eating, but it can make the process a lot easier, and I will tell you why. Really quick before we get started, allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Carrie. I'm the creator of Psychospiritual Wellness, and that is a program to help you stop compulsive eating, rooted 100% in psychological and spiritual practices. I don't talk about diet and exercise because that's not the part that matters. That is the tip of the iceberg. We're dealing with everything underneath the surface in these videos. This video is going to be a bit more of a vlog style, which is my way of saying it's a little bit less organized because I'm just going to ramble on a topic that is near and dear to my heart, minimalism. And if it resonates with you and if it intrigues you, I really encourage you to pursue it. So when I first created Psychospiritual Wellness in 2016, so that's 7 years ago, y'all, I also at the same time, so when I created it and I was playing with the stop, drop, and feel, which I hadn't started calling the stop, drop, and feel yet, and I hadn't yet trademarked the stop, drop, and feel. And I was just starting to dive into the emotion part and not diet. And I also happened to just start to really get into minimalism. And I think that they are definitely related in a way. Because a huge reason why so many of us reach for food when we aren't hungry is because we have too much going on. We have too much going on socially. We have too much going on in our environment. We have too much going on at work. There is just too much stuff, too much clutter, too many obligations. And it's really hard to pare back. So decluttering is one thing, and that may or may not be easy for you. But decluttering the rest, decluttering your schedule, decluttering your obligations, that part is really hard because it butts right up against people-pleasing tendencies. So here's what I mean. If you are a very busy bee, you're a very social person, you're constantly going out with your friends eating and drinking, but you're like, ugh, I feel bloated, I feel gross, I'm eating when I don't want to be eating, but I have all these obligations. What I encourage you to do is bring some minimalism into your social calendar. So what that means is getting really intentional about who in my life actually brings me joy. And sitting down and really putting some thought into it. Like one time I legit, and I'm sorry about this, but I'm not sorry, I wrote down a list of all my friends and everyone that I spent time with. And then I put a number next to their name on how awesome I felt when I was with them. And it just helped me just get clarity on who am I spending time with that is actually draining. You know, you can just love these people. We can love people, and at the same time, they can be kind of draining. And so, really, minimalism helps you develop boundaries. It helps you get clear on where you need to set boundaries. So, still though, if you gain clarity and like, okay, well, I really don't like hanging out with this person. I love her to death, but she's always just such a drag, or she always just wants to talk about drama. It's not always a nourishing relationship. What that means now that you have that clarity, great, you're in what we call awareness hell, where you know what's going wrong, but you're just like struggling to do something about it. And this is when we need to break the people-pleasing tendencies. So when this person wants to make plans with you, you have to actually say no. So a huge part of minimalism to me is actually saying no. You know, there's a phase in our lives, whether it's early in our lives, later in our lives, at some point where you need to say yes. You need to say yes to things. You need to say yes to opportunities. But with compulsive eating, I think it's very appropriate to say that maybe for 90% of people, we need to learn how to say no. We need to learn how to pare things back and hold space for how uncomfortable that is, right? It always comes back to a feeling, and it's really annoying how it always comes back to a feeling, but it's true. The way that I overcame people pleasing was by being willing to upset other people. And as messed up as that may sound, it's necessary. Because if you have a friend that is draining you of energy, if you can't upset that person by saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't hang out tonight, but how about 2 weeks from now? That, technically, you're upsetting them because they wanted to hang out with you, but you are trying to pare things back. You're trying to create space. So yes, vlog style, we're rambling. Space. Space is so precious to you, to me, on this journey, I think. Because a lot of what us compulsive eaters do is we steamroll. We steamroll through our day, we steamroll through our work, we steamroll through everything, and then the reason why we struggle with night eating is because we think we have no willpower, but that is so not true. Part of the reason is because nighttime is when we can't steamroll anymore. Because we outran ourselves. We don't have any energy left over to continue with these activities, and so we haven't felt our feelings and we haven't processed anything, and so we compulsively eat. Or you haven't been eating enough, which is honestly the case a lot of the times, but that's another story for another day. So with minimalism, you're paring back the amount of obligations that you have. You're paring back all these things that you're doing. You may even need to pare back the amount of money that you make if you are making decent money already. I have worked with a lot of clients that break their backs making really good money for themselves, but it is costing them their health. So that's another tangent. We pare all these things back, and what we end up with is space. And space is delicious. It's relaxing. And it can also be terrifying. Because if you have been outrunning your feelings for so long, and you suddenly create space in your life, now you have to sit with yourself. Now you have to sit with your feelings. And I think this is a really good thing. I think that minimalism creates the space in your life that you need in order to be present with yourself. And I'm not sitting here saying minimalism is going to make your life squeaky, clean, shiny, rainbows, and feel good. I'm saying that minimalism is, one, difficult to implement because you have to start saying no. You have to start upsetting other people that want your time and attention and you can't give it to them. And I'm saying that you need to create space in your life to do a little bit of nothing and tend to yourself. And when you do that, you're probably going to come across uncomfortable emotions. Now, I'm clearly not the best salesman, but I think it's really clear that this is what's really good for us. Minimalism is amazing. I think I'm going to make a whole separate video on how I don't even use social media anymore. I haven't for many years now. And that was one thing that I did. First, I was trying to just scale back how often I was using social media apps. I moved them off my home screen, and then I just started using them less and less because they were less on my mind. And then I started reaping the benefits of not comparing my life to everyone else's. And then I suddenly lost interest in looking at people's highlight feeds because they're not even real or authentic, and authenticity means a lot to me. So, minimalism applied to social media is a really good thing. So, all in all tangents aside, minimalism is amazing, rewarding, difficult, and life-changing. I do so many things now that I don't even think about, so many things that are good for me that I don't even think about because I've been practicing minimalism for, 7 years now. 7 years. 7 years. And if you watch my really, really old YouTube videos, those were me 7 years ago. So what was I saying? Minimalism is amazing, life-changing, very difficult to implement, and it leads to some uncomfortable moments, but ultimately it creates space in your life for you to nurture yourself and for you to practice these tools that I'm always harping about, such as the stop, drop, and feel. So I would love to know what you think. Seriously, please leave me a comment below. And I hope you enjoyed this vlog with me and my cat who decided to join us halfway through. And I think that's all for now. Please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Seriously, leave me a comment below. I will get back to you, I promise.